They say money can't buy happiness, but in West Virginia, it sure gets you a whole lot closer than most places in America right now. Welcome to Across the United States, where today's journey takes us straight into 10 cheapest cities to live in West Virginia. Unbelievably affordable hidden gems you need to see. If your rent feels like a monthly jump scare, this countdown was practically made for you. While the rest of the country is wrestling with sky-high housing prices, inflation, and modern apartments that look suspiciously like storage units, the Mountain State is quietly serving real homes, real space, and real community, all without asking for your entire paycheck. Think yards big enough for actual grass, views that don't require a travel budget, and neighbors who smile instead of speed past you. This video is perfect for young professionals looking for a financial reset, retirees craving peace, and families who want affordability without sacrificing quality of life. West Virginia delivers that rare combination: low costs, calm living, and a sense of belonging that's hard to find in big city hustle. And truthfully, West Virginia doesn't usually top relocation lists, but maybe that's the biggest mistake people are making. Hidden between its rolling hills and quiet valleys are towns where life is simple, scenery is stunning, and your wallet can finally take a breather. These places offer real value, real charm, and real opportunity, all wrapped in that unmistakable Mountain State magic. Stick around, because one of these affordable gems might end up being the zip code you didn't know you were searching for. Your future could be calmer, cheaper, and surprisingly beautiful. Before we jump in, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, as we'll keep finding the U.S. cities where your money stretches farther than you thought possible. Number 10. Fairmont, West Virginia. Imagine living in a town where your biggest traffic jam is getting stuck behind a school bus or a tractor. That's Fairmont, a charming little city that gives you the college town atmosphere without the student loans or late-night frat noise. Known as the Friendly City, Fairmont strikes that perfect balance between affordability, access, and genuine community warmth that's hard to find these days. Let's talk numbers for a second. The average home price sits around $160,000, while rent rarely climbs past $1,000. And we're talking decent apartments, not broom closets. To put that in perspective, that's less than what some DC residents pay for parking, or what New Yorkers spend on a studio the size of a pantry. Add in a cost of living that's roughly 20% lower than the national average, and suddenly Fairmont looks like a budget-friendly dream. But cheap living isn't the only thing Fairmont has going for it. It's strategically tucked between Morgantown and Clarksburg, two growing hubs for jobs, universities, and entertainment. So even if you work in a busier city, you can still come home to quiet streets and friendly faces. Commuting doesn't take an hour, unless you stop for coffee and small talk at every corner. Fairmont is also home to Fairmont State University, which gives the town a youthful energy without overwhelming it. You'll find cute local cafes, riverside parks, and community events that make you feel like you actually belong somewhere. And if you're into the outdoors, the Monongahela River and Valley Falls State Park are just a short drive away. Perfect for fishing, kayaking, or decompressing after a long week. Of course, life here moves a little slower. There's no big nightlife or neon skyline, but that's part of the charm. Fairmont is for people who are tired of chaos and crave connection. So ask yourself this: would you trade the noise of city life for a place where your neighbors know your name, your wallet can breathe, and rush hour lasts about 10 minutes? Number 9. Bluefield, West Virginia. They don't call it nature's air-conditioned city for nothing. Bluefield's summer temperatures stay so mild that locals practically brag about not needing to crank up the AC. Perched high in the Appalachian Mountains near the Virginia border, this small city gives you the kind of crisp mountain air that most people pay vacation money for. Here, the mornings are cool, the views are cinematic, and life moves at a pace that reminds you what peace actually feels like. Now let's talk affordability, because that's where Bluefield really shines. The average home price hovers around $110,000, which sounds like a typo in the current housing market. Even rentals often stay below $900 a month, making it one of the most budget-friendly cities not just in West Virginia, but in the entire eastern US. You can actually own a house here for less than a year's rent in most big cities, and still have money left over for a porch swing and a decent cup of coffee. Bluefield's charm goes beyond cheap housing. Outdoor lovers will feel right at home with easy access to hiking, biking, and even skiing during the winter months. The nearby East River Mountain Overlook offers panoramic views that look straight out of a nature documentary, while the Lotito City Park and Bluefield City Park keep the weekends lively with trails, festivals, and community events. It's true, Bluefield isn't a nightlife hotspot. You won't find massive clubs or late-night sushi bars, but what you will find are peaceful evenings under pink skies, neighbors who actually wave, and a community that still values a slower, saner rhythm of life. It's the kind of place where people measure wealth not by square footage, but by how many sunsets they get to enjoy. So the question is, would you swap city lights for misty hills, crowded bars for mountain silence, and daily stress for year-round fresh air? Because in Bluefield, that's not a fantasy. It's just another Tuesday. Number 8. Princeton, West Virginia. Princeton might not make national headlines, but maybe that's exactly why people love it here. It's one of those towns where life feels balanced. Not too loud, not too quiet, just comfortable. Nestled in southern West Virginia near the Virginia border, Princeton blends affordability, charm, and community spirit in a way that makes you wonder why more people aren't talking about it. Let's get straight to what matters. The cost of living. The average home price hovers around $150,000. And you can still find nice rentals for about $850 a month. That's the kind of affordability that makes you double-check the math. Groceries, utilities, and transportation all sit well below the national average, meaning your money doesn't just stretch here. It relaxes. You could actually build savings, plan a trip, or buy that car you've been eyeing without feeling financially suffocated. But Princeton isn't just about saving money. It's got personality, that small-town friendliness where people hold doors open and the local diner waitress remembers your coffee order by week 2. You'll find a lively arts scene at the Chuck Mathena Center, which hosts concerts, plays, and community events throughout the year. And for weekend fun, there's Glenwood Recreational Park, a perfect spot for picnics, walking trails, and lazy afternoons under the trees. The local economy stays steady, supported by healthcare, small businesses, and education. Crime rates are manageable, the schools perform decently, and the general vibe is peaceful with a pulse. It's the kind of place where neighbors greet you on morning walks, and traffic lights are more suggestion than frustration. Sure, Princeton doesn't have skyscrapers or 24-hour entertainment, but maybe that's the beauty of it. Here, life isn't a race, it's a rhythm. You get time to breathe, to think, to actually live. So be honest, if you could live debt-free, surrounded by friendly faces, mountain views, and pancakes the size of your plate, would you really say no? Number 7. Weirton, West Virginia. If convenience had a zip code, it would probably be Weirton. Imagine living in a city so perfectly placed that in 5 minutes you could cross into 2 different states. Drive east, hello Pennsylvania. Head west, you're in Ohio. Stay put, and you've got affordable West Virginia living right in the middle. It's like the sweet spot of the tri-state area, where small-town calm meets big-city access. The numbers are what really make people do a double take. A median home price of about $145,000 and a cost of living roughly 22% lower than the national average. That's not just cheap, that's smart living. In Weirton, your paycheck actually stretches. Rent, groceries, gas, everything costs less, which means more financial breathing room for, well, life. Now, sure, Weirton has an industrial history. It's a steel town through and through. But that backbone of industry also means stability. Manufacturing and healthcare are still key employers here, and Pittsburgh's growing job market is less than an hour away for those who crave bigger opportunities. You can work in the city and come home to a peaceful neighborhood without spending half your life in traffic. But Weirton isn't all work and no play. The town has its share of charm. Small, family-owned restaurants, cozy coffee spots, and scenic river views along the Ohio. Locals love their community events, and the sense of pride runs deep. It's clean, It's safe, and it has that old-fashioned neighborly feel that's hard to come by in larger cities. And the best part? You don't have to sacrifice modern comforts to get that simplicity. You'll find good schools, decent healthcare, and plenty of green space to unwind. So, would you rather deal with big city chaos and sky-high rent, or live where three states meet? Your bills stay low, and peace of mind comes standard? Weirton might just make that decision easier than you think. Number 6. Elkins, West Virginia. Elkins feels like stepping into a postcard that somehow came to life. Only here, the scenery isn't printed, and the people actually wave back. It's the kind of place your grandparents might reminisce about. Safe, simple, and full of that old-fashioned warmth that's getting harder to find in modern life. Nestled deep in the Allegheny Mountains, Elkins is surrounded by natural beauty that doesn't just decorate the town, it defines it. Let's start with the basics. The median home price sits around $200,000, and rent averages well under $1,000 a month. The cost of living is impressively low, especially considering the lifestyle you get in return. Groceries, utilities, and transportation are all budget-friendly, and property taxes are minimal. In short, Elkins lets you live comfortably without feeling like every bill is a battle. Now, what really sets Elkins apart is its soul. This small mountain town is bursting with creativity, community, and culture. The local scene is powered by the Davis and Elkins College, which brings youthful energy and a touch of sophistication. Art galleries, bluegrass jams, and craft fairs keep the weekends lively. And when fall rolls around, the town transforms into a golden wonderland, the kind of view photographers chase their whole careers trying to capture. Outdoor lovers? You're in heaven. The Monongahela National Forest sits right on Elkins's doorstep, offering endless trails for hiking, biking, fishing, and even the occasional black bear sighting, though hopefully from a safe distance. You can wake up, have breakfast at a local cafe, and still make it to a mountain overlook before lunch. There's no rush hour here, no skyscrapers, no smog. Just clean air, quiet nights, and a community that feels like family. Life in Elkins is less about hustle and more about heart. The kind of place that reminds you what living actually means. Now tell me, would you trade your city commute and noise for mountain trails, local music festivals, and mornings that smell like pine and coffee? We're halfway through the countdown, and before we continue, kindly hit the like button, subscribe to Across the United States, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next informative video. Alright, let's jump back in. Number 5. Parkersburg. Parkersburg is one of those towns that surprises you. Not because it's flashy, but because it's steady, grounded, and genuinely livable. Sitting right along the Ohio River, it's got that easygoing river town energy where everyone waves, weekends are for football, and you can actually afford to enjoy your life. The median home price here floats around $140,000, and rent still sits comfortably under $100. Numbers that feel almost nostalgic in today's housing market. You could practically buy a house here for what a studio costs in most big cities. And while it's affordable, it's far from sleepy. Parkersburg's downtown is revitalizing, with small businesses, restaurants, and a community that genuinely supports local. The job market is modest but solid, especially in manufacturing, healthcare, and education. And the cost of living is about 20% lower than the national average. That means you can have a decent home, a reliable job, and still afford to go out on weekends without guilt-tripping your wallet. The town also leans heavily into its sense of community. Friday night football isn't just a game here, it's practically a local holiday. People take pride in their roots, their teams, and their neighborhoods. There's a refreshing simplicity to it, a kind of life as it should be vibe that's hard to find elsewhere. So yes, Parkersburg might not have skyscrapers or luxury shopping, but what it does have is stability, and that's worth more than any skyline. The only question left is, could you handle a life where everyone already knows which high school team you root for? Number 4. Beckley. If you've ever dreamed of living somewhere that feels like a permanent weekend getaway, Beckley might just be calling your name. Known as the gateway to southern West Virginia, this town blends small-town comfort with outdoor adventure in a way that makes you wonder why it isn't more famous. The average home price hovers around $150,000, and the cost of living is about 25% lower than the national average. Translation? You can actually enjoy life without your bank account gasping for air. And while it's easy on the wallet, Beckley doesn't skimp on lifestyle. It's got solid healthcare, good schools, and even a few modern conveniences that keep things balanced. But what really gives Beckley its charm is its backyard playground. Within a short drive, you've got access to some of the best hiking trails, mountain roads, and whitewater rafting spots in the state. On weekends, locals swap traffic jams for river rapids and lunch breaks for scenic overlooks. Not a bad trade, right? The pace here is unhurried, not lazy, just peaceful. People actually say hello when you pass by. Stress? Practically banned. There's a reason retirees love it. Young families feel grounded here, and professionals who work remotely never look back once they settle in. So the big question is, how much is peace of mind worth to you? Because in Beckley, it seems to cost about $150K or less, and comes with a side of mountain air, friendly neighbors, and sunsets that make even your phone camera look good. Number 3. Wheeling, West Virginia. Coming in at number 3, we are taking a trip to the Mountain State to visit a place that proves you don't need a time machine to find affordable housing. You just need a GPS. Welcome to Wheeling, West Virginia. Now listen, Wheeling used to be a massive industrial powerhouse. We're talking about a city that was once the capital of the territory, a place with serious historical muscle. But like many Rust Belt cities, it took a nap for a few decades. However, here is the scoop. Wheeling is waking up, it has reinvented itself, and it is offering prices that will make your bank account literally weep with joy. Let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets ridiculous. The median home price here sits right around $170,000. Yes, you heard me correctly. In a world where $170,000 barely buys you a parking spot in New York City, or a garden shed in Seattle, in Wheeling, it buys you a legitimate, honest-to-goodness house. Prefer to rent? You are looking at an average of about $900 a month. That is less than what some people pay for their car notes. But it's not just about being cheap. It's about character. You aren't getting cookie-cutter vinyl siding here. You're getting stunning Victorian architecture, historic suspension bridges, and a downtown area that is slowly but surely buzzing back to life with local shops and eateries. It has that historic charm that usually costs a fortune, but here, it's on clearance. Of course, nobody is perfect, right? The catch here is the weather. If you are allergic to snow or shivering, you might want to grab a coat. Winter in Wheeling gets real. It gets gray and it gets cold. But let's look at the bright side. That chill gives you a valid excuse to stay inside and enjoy a hot cocoa next to a fireplace in a house you actually own. So here's the question. Would you be willing to trade mild winters for a mortgage that doesn't keep you up at night? Is legacy worth the cold? Let me know in the comments. Number 2. Clarksburg, West Virginia. We are inching closer to the top spot, and for number 2, we are staying right here in the rolling hills of West Virginia. If affordability were a country, Clarksburg might just be its capital city. Let's rip the bandage off and look at the numbers, because they are genuinely hard to believe. The median home price in Clarksburg sits just under $160,000. Let that sink in for a second. That is less than what some people are currently drowning in for student loan debt. In some coastal cities, that amount wouldn't even cover the down payment on a studio apartment that smells like old soup. But here, that buys you the whole house, the yard, and probably the fence too. But is it just a cheap place to sleep? Surprisingly, no. Clarksburg isn't a ghost town. It's a functioning, breathing community. It has solid schools for the kids and reasonable job opportunities if you're looking locally. But the real kicker is the food scene. It's surprisingly good. We aren't talking about 5-star Michelin dining, but good, hearty, stick-to-your-ribs comfort food that actually tastes like love. The vibe here fits a very specific type of person. It is peaceful, but it's not dull. It's that sweet spot where you can sleep without sirens blaring, but you won't die of boredom on a Friday night. It is becoming a massive haven for families, retirees looking to stretch that pension, and, pay attention here, remote workers. If you have a remote job and strong Wi-Fi, why are you paying $3,000 a month to look at a brick wall in the city? Come here, get a quiet base, and live like royalty. So, I have to ask you a serious financial question. How would your life change if your rent or mortgage was literally half of what you pay right now? Would you travel more, save for retirement, or just eat way better food? Number 1. Huntington, West Virginia. And finally, we have arrived. We have climbed the mountain, crunched the numbers, and we are planting our flag at the number 1 spot. Taking the crown for the most affordable and surprisingly lively city on our list is none other than Huntington, West Virginia. If you thought the previous prices were wild, Huntington is about to make your jaw hit the floor. The median home price here hovers right around $135,000. I'm serious. There are luxury SUVs that cost more than a 3-bedroom house in this city. And if you aren't ready to buy, rent often sits comfortably under $900 a month. This isn't just affordable. This is sticker shock in reverse. You look at the price tag and wonder if they forgot a zero. But here is the secret sauce that puts Huntington at number 1. It is not a sleepy, quiet town where the sidewalk rolls up at 5 p.m. This is a college town, folks. It is home to Marshall University. And if you know anything about college towns, you know they come with a built-in energy supply. The university injects a youthful adrenaline into the city that you just don't get elsewhere. There are sports events, Go Thundering Herd, cultural festivals, quirky coffee shops, and a nightlife scene that punches way above its weight class. Let's talk macroeconomics for a second. The overall cost of living here is a staggering 30% lower than the national average. That means your paycheck isn't just surviving the month, it's actually sticking around long enough for you to enjoy it. Housing here is consistently ranked among the cheapest in the entire United States. Now let's be real for a second. Huntington has had its headlines. It has faced its fair share of ups and downs, just like any city with a history of industry and change. But it is a city with grit, resilience, and a comeback story that is happening right now. It offers that small-town friendliness where neighbors actually wave, mixed with just enough city buzz to keep you entertained. So the final question is this: could Huntington be your next great affordable adventure? Is it time to stop working for your house and let your house work for you? And that wraps up another journey through the places where your wallet breathes easier and your daily life feels a little lighter. Whether you're planning a move, daydreaming about a fresh start, or just curious about how far your money can go, the Mountain State definitely gives you something to think about. Now I'm curious, which part of today's countdown surprised you the most? Was it the prices, the lifestyle, or just how underrated West Virginia really is? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your perspective might help someone else make a life-changing decision. Before you head out, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay connected with Across the United States, where we explore the places that make living simpler, smarter, and a whole lot more affordable. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.